we've come together. Let us give obeisances to each other and continue happily the program. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sunda Govinda, Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Jai Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rakha Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. And Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki jai in the Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Bhaga. So here we are. We are in the last day of July in the year 2021. Well, we may think the year is passing by quickly, but also I can say in the 1980s, if somebody said, oh, what do you think you'll be doing in 2020 or 2021? It was just inconceivable that we just wouldn't think, oh, what will the world be like in 2020 or 2021? But we are in it now. And not unsurprisingly, the world is full of eating, sleeping, mating, defending. The birth is still full of birth, development, maturity, reproduction, dwindling, and what's one we never remember, nobody remembers? Passing away. Oh dear. So the world is still full of those things, and we are still here at the moment. So what can we say? What we can say is that fortunately we are here or not. We do not know if that is fortunate. We can only think that it is the grace of above that we may be living, whether we live to 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, whatever age. When our proper time will come, it will come, and it's already destined in one sense, but the devotees, we know, are not subject to the astrology. The devotees, they are now the property of Guru and Gauranga. They are coming to their lotus feet. And we are not atheist. It is not that, okay, we are in this lifetime, we're going to understand Krishna, or else there is no God. Nothing like this. We are in the journey for searching for Sri Krishna reality, the beautiful. And I can simply say that after living with Guru Maharaj, living with Gurudev, trying to serve Guru Maharaj, trying to serve Gurudev, then I can say that really, if anybody wants to know something of their nature and character and like that, we are happy to share that. And we miss them both extremely. And in this world, we see many things going on, but we really want to say and share what is the nature and character of our wonderful masters. And you can get some idea from the books, from the recordings, both tapes and video. We say this again and again because so many resources are there. And I don't know about you, I only have 24 hours in a day, and I don't have time or inclination to go to look at anything else which is being said anywhere else, and all the discussions about people's opinions of this, that, and the other. General opinion is not what we're coming to hear from. We're coming to hear from the opinion of Guru Maharaj and Gurudev, of Srila Saraswati Thakur, of Srila Prabhupada. And that we have now in abundance. We've got this in abundance. So our journey is a journey, and wherever we are situated, that is the perfect place for us. How do we know that? Because we read the books of Guru Maharaj and Gurudev, which have been very carefully checked through at each stage. The Siddhanta, the words, everything, all very carefully checked through. And we read their books, and Guru Maharaj expressing that not only we need to tolerate the environment wherever we are, but we must understand it is the very best position for me, for my best benefit. The Krishna is our well-wisher, so he's put us wherever we are, whatever circumstance we're in. He's put us there for our best benefit. So when we will see like that, then we really have to think, okay, so wherever we are now, I have to put into practice this guidance that has come from Guru Maharaj and Gurudev. This practice with the guidance has come from Mahaprabhu and in its applicable form from Guru Maharaj and Gurudev. And in case we hadn't noticed, we are on a long journey. We are not on a journey which is going to be finished in a day or two. We were reading from Srimad Bhagavatam with the purport to Srila Prabhupada just yesterday evening. And in the purport, oh no, it wasn't, it was the day before yesterday evening, we were reading this part. And in the purport, the commentary, and it is Canto 3, chapter number, I'm not sure, 20 something. There's a purport there, and Srila Prabhupada saying, very like with his own humor, which we can understand, he had the association of Gurudev and Guru Maharaj. And he's saying, not that there will be a program and we'll become God in 6 months, go on its course to become God in 6 months. And actually, I was listening. I wasn't reading it. I was listening to the devotees reading, and we're sitting here reading together. We take it in turns to read and try to also say to the devotees, read it with understanding, and then we can understand. So I also try to read with understanding, not just read it, but reading with understanding. So the devotee is doing like this. And I thought that the devotee was putting their own comment. Oh, not that we can go on a course and become God within 6 months. And I thought that like sometimes, we may add our own angle of vision or something, but it was right there. And then they said, no, I didn't make it up. And then I looked, and I'm looking at actually the original Srimad Bhagavatam, which does have, by the way, quite a lot of errors or things which needed to be corrected in later editions. And anyway, we can mention some of those that were kind of obvious when we were reading it. But they're reading the published Bhagavatam, which has come later. And so then I looked at mine and I didn't see it. I thought, no, you made it up. And they said, no, I didn't make it up. And then I saw it was in the middle of the text. So sometimes when devotees read it, and I try to say, please make it clear when you read. Are you reading the purport? Now, if you read a commentary, make sure we know we're reading the commentary, not the verse, or hearing the commentary. And if it's a quote, like Shukadev is talking, or somebody's talking, or in the part we're reading now is Vidura and Maitreya, if they're talking and then they make a quotation, we want to know it's a quotation so that the listener can hear just as the reader is giving. So anyway, there Srila Prabhupada with his humor saying, it's not that, oh yes, we shall go on a course and then in 6 months I will become God. This kind of thing he put there. So this fits into the theme that Devashish Prabhu kindly gave us for today. And Devashish gave us a very short title. Not a journey to be finished within a few hours, a few days, or a few years. Hare Krishna. And following on from that, we understand that we are here in 2021, but we understand that really we are on a journey, we're joining a life which is a perpetual life, a life of aspiring for service and aspiring for the grace of the Vaishnavas. So on that theme, then I can give you a couple of quotes. Devashish Prabhu is not with us today, and he said unavoidably this week I can't be with us because he's doing some necessary service. He's being responsible citizen and doing good for his dear mum, which must include letting her hear more about the holy name, etc. So reading Devashish's mind, and now I won't. I was going to say now I'll do a Devashish voice, but I won't be able to do a Devashish voice. But I can consider that he was thinking of Guru Maharaj talking recorded in the Loving Search for the Lost Servant. So I'll read that part in the Loving Search for the Lost Servant. Click, 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 click. So, where shall I start reading from? Where shall I start reading from? I tell you what, I'm going to start reading from here. So, first of all, Jai Srila Bhakti Rakha Kridha Dev Goswami Maharaj Srila Guru Maharaj Ki Jai. So, Guru Maharaj is saying, primary education must not be thought of as the highest education. That will be dangerous. There is a saying in Bengali, Alpavidya bhyankari. A little knowledge is a dangerous thing. And I think that's a saying in English too, but maybe because I've heard it from Guru Maharaj and Guru. Then Guru Maharaj continuing, we must be careful about that. Otherwise, our attitude will be suicidal. The question of offense arises whenever primary education stands against higher education. That sort of assertion is offensive. Slow and steady wins the race. And I happen to know that's an English shloka. Okay, or English expression. All right. Slow and steady wins the race. Our march towards the infinite is a long journey, not a journey to be finished within a few hours, a few days, or a few years. And we have to adjust accordingly. It is not that we shall run quickly to make progress and then stop and sleep. It is a long way we shall have to go. We will only be successful if we develop humility. Trinad api sunichena. I didn't add that in. It's right here. Everything I'm reading here, it's right here. Okay. So Guru Maharaj continuing. We should not create any circumstance that invites resistance. Still, if any resistance unexpectedly approaches us, we should try our best to forbear. And we must always be conscious that our guardian's eye is always over us, eager to help us in our campaign. We are not alone. We may go on confidently with the thought, there is a person above us to redress the wrong that may be shown to us. So we should not take the initiative. We must not allow any ulterior purpose or temptation to induce us to give up our search for Sri Krishna. And then, okay, I'll just read a little bit more. Let the satisfaction of Guru, Gauranga, Krishna and the Vaishnavas be our only objective. Let no other element enter upon our path. And I'm going to finish this paragraph with 1, 2, 3 sentences more. Our purity of purpose must always be very scrupulously maintained. We should think, alone I shall go on with my duty. I won't be always searching for someone to come and help me. Let them do their duty. This is my duty. With this attitude, we shall go on. I better not go on too much, should I? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now let me just see. Let me just see what is here. Okay, so there are other references finished within a few hours, but these references are to do with punishment. If I get some severe reaction, then the devotee will see that, okay, this is punishment that's due to me, and I'm happy that I'm getting relieved of whatever it is that had to be done in a few hours instead of lifetime after lifetime. So again, the devotee looking very generously upon difficulties faced in their life. But as we mentioned at the beginning, the idea that we are quickly, suddenly we're going to be, members of the upper world, and that in a few short weeks or months we're going to achieve our goal, and if we don't get it, then we're not going to continue. We'll go instead and stand on our head or do some other things which may give clarity of the brain, at least when you stand the right way up, probably. So we know it is a long journey. So let us daily follow the routine. And actually, just yesterday, we were discussing with Munindra Mohan Krishnakanta, Madhurananda, Shanti Moy, and the devotees here, who now we have 2 residents for as long as their visa is, which is 5 or 6 months. We've got Muktinath Prabhu from Ukraine, and we have Ananda Leela from Russia. So we were discussing together, and how we see that when there is not a regular practice in somebody's devotional life, bigger bumps come than usual, you can say. It really is an obstacle when devotees stop doing regular practice. So we do want to encourage everybody, everywhere, in every circumstance, try to make your own morning program, some morning sadhana. Don't forget your japa. No doubt, 99% of you, 99 of however many are here, means a percentage of one person will be left. But 90+% of you were hankering for initiation at one point, and thinking, oh, that I must get this connection. This I pray for. I see the necessity. We're told of the necessity. Now, what happens if I die today? We want this connection. We hankered to receive the japa, to receive the holy name. So let us also think about that and keep up our momentum in daily practices. The japa will not fast. And for all of you parents out there, then you know your kids, they're not going to fast. Once you've invited them in your home, then they're not going to fast. They'll be crying, but our japa sit. Okay, yes, and our japa sit silently crying, hanging on the peg. Now, I heard that expression. Well, I know who I heard it from, but that was attributed to Srila Prabhupada. It's one of those Srila Prabhupada said. So it was or not, we don't know. But still, I did hear that expression. The Japamana silently crying, hanging on a hook and being neglected. Hare Krishna. Anyway, we're on a journey. We're with each other. Let us go on happily. As always, like a broken record, I'll say, under the shelter of Guru Maharaj, Gurudev, and Srila Prabhupada. Anything but Krishna's message, no, is falsehood, such a passage, such a harlot is so very dangerous. Hare Krishna. And Govinda Nandini joined us next door to London in Brazil.
Dandavat.
And Dandavat with a clear blue sky. And Praneshwari Devi Dasi joined us outside, at least in one sense, outside the temple of Anu Giriraj in Govardhan, with blue skies also. And Krishna Mohini Didi from Spain, and all else we've given our welcome to in due course. Hare Krishna. So now we are going to ask any of you for a question. And this question you can give to Rasamoyi Pandita, because I see the kitchen crew are all very busy, but we have come to West London. So let us hear from Rasamoyi Pandita, something from the London temple. And Govinda Nandini's already put up her hand. So, and she's And she's in front of a tree which is called a something tree. Tell us the name of that tree.
Araucaria.
Araucaria.
Yeah.
And for those, let's just stand to the side a little bit so we can see the tree. This tree right on the property or beside the property, these trees, Gurudev saw these exact trees and said, they are saints, they are great sadhus, waiting to hear the holy name. Something along those lines. This is what Gurudev said. And what Gurudev said is real. So there we are. Hare Krishna. And Shyama Malani, did he just join us too?
Hare Krishna, Maharaj, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Comment ça va? Everything good?
Ça va très bien. Everything good. Thank you.
Ça va très bien. Bon. Okay, maintenant, now we shall hear, I forget my French, please excuse me. Now we shall hear a few words from Rasamoyi Pandita Devi.
Dandavad Maharaj. Well, I can, what comes to mind about what you were saying so beautifully is one thing that made a very big impression on me, what Srila Gurudev said in an audio that I listened to recently. It was about patience, and he emphasized the fact that, you know, the boat is there, we're in the boat, and actually I'm hanging onto a rope, and he says we've been given that so mercifully, and now the point is really to hang on. And I think the metaphor is so beautiful because it also means like it takes effort, you know, it takes effort and consistency and sadhana and all these things, and the waters can get, you know, tough, but the point is to hang on and not to give up. And then he said to be patient because you know, once that happens and you've been given the most merciful, the most divine and affectionate gift, then that is a glorious thing, just to have to be patient, and it's all good however long it takes. And so that's a little bit that came to mind, Maharaj. But I also had a question, and I don't know why, but I'm sitting next to a really lovely new friend, and we just started talking a little bit about things, and I was hoping maybe, I mean, if nobody else wants to share something at this point, I wanted to ask a question to you about the power of sadhana. Really, you know, you know, with Bindya in mind, who's just started to chant the Mahamantra and to listen to some classes. You know, she's new to the process, and I'd love to hear from you, if that's okay, the power of sadhana in order to keep steady and to maintain the course and to hang on to the rope.
All right. Well, we're happy to say and to share. What I can say is this, that please remind me again, your new friend's name?
Yes, Bindya. Sorry.
Okay, Bindya.
Bindya. Okay, Bindya. So the first thing is, we've come to wonderful spiritual masters, to wonderful gurus, means practicing what they preach and preaching what is the conclusion of the Vedas, the conclusion of the conclusion, in fact, means that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he has come with the medicine for this age, and he's come with the gift that the medicine, if you take it, it will cure your sickness, but it will give you something super wonderful, supremely wonderful. It's called Krishna Prema. Prema, we can say, is love, but it is a Sanskrit word, and there is no translation into English or into anything, because we also hear, and again hear from our masters, that the words of our world cannot properly describe love, etc., etc., of the upper world. So Krishna Prema has been given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us the medicine, and we have the most wonderful masters who are fully connected, carrying that current of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And they have taught that we need to take regular spiritual breakfast, spiritual activity in the day, spiritual evening meal. And this way you will be spiritually strong and spiritually healthy. And this is what we're trying to aim for. And spiritual, don't be afraid about the word spiritual. It means consciousness. And consciousness, as Guru Maharaj also explains, is behind everything. What's even a simple stone? A stone, if you have no consciousness, anything can be around you. A stone, a peacock, an aeroplane, anything can be around you. But everything is based on consciousness. And we are waking up our consciousness to its proper conception, its proper understanding of our environment and of life. So, to be spiritually healthy is a very good idea, consciously healthy. And this healthiness will come by taking the medicine and to get rid of the disease, and by taking the nourishment to give you strong spiritual health. So that analogy runs into the material world, of course. If somebody is sick, you're going to do at least two things. One is you want to cure the disease, which is causing the pain, causing this. And the second thing is you want to give them not just your cure, but you want to give them nourishment from on the positive side, that they're getting strength of the body, this, that, and the other. That. So sadhana, our chanting, regular chanting of Hare Krishna, our doing some simple worship. It doesn't have to be with hundreds of mantras. In fact, it's dangerous for us to chant hundreds of mantras. If we know what we're saying, and sometimes we do learn a few words that we say wrong, then we can understand that actually, our mantras may be saying the opposite than we think they are. Just by Pandita knows. She's a student. I mean, just with a slipping in a little there, then you've got the opposite meaning. So many things are there. The point is from the heart to develop loving service to the Lord. And this means that we will follow the guidance of the good masters. So really we are following some sadhana, some daily practices as guided by the good masters. And this way, we chant japa regularly, we do worship, sing the bhajans, read the books, but in a regulated way. It's not that this is the only thing we do, and rather the emphasis is then the nourishment side of everything too, which is doing seva, to practice what is being taught as the conclusion of knowledge, which is to do something to please the Lord. And how do we do that? By connecting with those who are already engaged in such practices and help them. And there we come to appreciate the importance of the devotees and the importance of the specific devotees, the specific strong guides and guardians. And that means the Guru Parampara. And we are very happy to introduce you to where we have found, from an independent point of view, rather than just blind faith, but with open eyes faith, as Guru Maharaj instructed, we should go forward with our eyes open. We can give you guidance to the most wonderful masters who are giving us what is practical for everybody to do in this age, whether you are a householder, a businessman, a single person, a child, a great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, if any exist in planet Earth at the moment of such an age. But anyway, great-great-grandfathers exist, no doubt. Great-great-great-great, maybe not. Anyhow, for everybody, then this is applicable. So we're not going to ask anybody to stand on their head or to do anything. Okay, there are probably some yoga students amongst you. I better be careful. Okay. To do anything that a normal animal wouldn't do. I haven't seen a cow doing yoga yet. When I see a cow doing yoga, I'll probably check it out. Sorry, Govinda Nandini, you're there at the yoga ashram. You see, we have to be careful what we say. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, it's thousands of lives, so.
It's thousands of lives, so some positive thing. Actually, anything which is favorable, and actually you were mentioning about patience in relation, Pandita was mentioning about patience in relation to, it's a long journey. And that reminded me of the Upadeshamritam, which we keep coming back to. And there that word dhairiyat, which means patience. Utsahan nishchaya dhairiyat. Tat karma pravartanat sangatyagat sato vritahe sadvir bhakti prasidyati. The 6 principles favorable for execution of pure devotional service. Being enthusiastic, endeavoring with confidence, being patient, acting according to the regulative principles such as Shravanam, Kirtan, Vishnu Smaranam, etc. Abandoning the association of non-devotees and following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. Actually, we can come back to Upadeshamritam again and again in our reflection on what we're doing, but also in our responding to questions, because in a very short way, Rupa Goswami has given a very full understanding, comprehensive understanding of what is Krishna consciousness. Very short means 11 verses. That's how very short. Hare Krishna. And we also read from Inner Fulfillment this morning in the program. You see, at least I can remember until this morning in the program, because here, and actually, you probably know, wherever we go, we always try to say, whatever we read in the morning, try to remember at breakfast time, okay? And try to remember at lunchtime, try to remember at dinner time too. But it's, it is a little bit of an interesting thing how little we remember. But this morning we were reading, as we've been doing, the Inner Fulfillment here by Srila Sri Maharaj. There, maybe I can just bring it up. But Srila Guru Maharaj, he's quoting, but Guru Maharaj is saying, okay, let me see. I'll give you the words. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm going to read you a little bit. I'm going to read you one not very long paragraph, and then Guru Maharaj expressing after all of this. So this is very beautiful. We read it together, and when we read things together, they're always very alive, very good. So as much as possible, try to read with the devotees. So again, as it turns out, this is Srila Sridhar Maharaj. Simplicity is the first qualification. If you are really simple, sincere, then automatically you cannot but come under the divine feet of Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Dev. It is so plain and so non-artificial. Love is a plain truth. Okay, love is a plain truth that should attract everyone. Even more than general love, divine love will attract all normal persons. It cannot but be. It is only necessary to be simple and unprejudiced. The, as Guru Maharaj and Guru Dev would say, antithesis, that we will actually say, if we use English pronunciation, is antithesis, but we'll use how Guru Maharaj would have said it. The antithesis, is the only thing drawing us back from God. Otherwise, it will be found to be the plane of universal love. And universe does not mean to a particular part of the universe, but the whole. Love is coming from the absolute. And then what I was thinking of just now, Guru Maharaj now taking on the mood, he's saying, is there such a fool in the midst of the mortality in this world who will not worship he who even the immortal worship? It is a great wonder that there can be such a person who will avoid such worship just to undergo all the mortal sufferings. That's the bit I was coming to. Hare Krishna. So this is why we have sadhana, to remind ourselves of these things. We hear this kind of news every day, and then even the most foolish amongst us, then we will appreciate, at least it's a good idea that we shall worship even he who the immortal worship. And then hopefully if we keep on with our sadhana, we'll actually not only think it's a good idea, but even try to do it. And the trying is the most important part. We are not the controllers of the result, but Krishna wants to see we are attempting, we are going in the right direction, we are trying to correct our angle of vision, correct our nature. And if somebody tells you often enough that this soap powder washes whiter than all the other soap powders, you're going to go and buy it. That's why they spend millions of dollars every year telling everybody that my soap powder washes whiter than anybody else's. And we all become convinced. But we have some other kind of powder, not even powder, transcendental subjects. And we, with very sound reason, have to say that this product is going to give you the very best result. Freedom from birth and death, old age, disease, rebirth, rebirth, rebirth. Freedom from the troubles in this world. If you haven't noticed, sometimes troubles come, called Adhyatmic, Adhibautik, Adidevic. Different forms of troubles. We don't have to explain too much. Lots of troubles come. And instead of all of that, you have eternal life. You have joyful life. You'll have ever fresh new life with love of God and love of everything to do with God, which means all of his associates, all of the paraphernalia, everything. So this is what our sadhana is for, to help us to build our proper angle of vision so that we can come to appreciate all of these statements of our masters. They are giving us wonderful descriptions. They are doing the propaganda to clean our heart, not to make us spend more money uselessly, essentially, for a lot of things. And not to let us think we are going to get fulfillment in this world. Hare Krishna. What was your question, Pandita? Oh, the importance of sadhana. Right.
Yes. But we have another one.
We have another one. Okay.
It's a bit, I don't know.
It's from India.
It might be a bit of a beginner question, but you're trying to practice detachment from materialism, but when you're surrounded by people who, like maybe your work colleagues or just general life, you're surrounded in materialism, other people who aren't that way inclined to, this path that you're pursuing. How do you deal with that conflict that you have inside and you're dealing with non-devotees, as it were?
You have to be like a duck.
Let it slip off.
A duck is in the water, but he's not affected by it. Actually, we'll use a better example that the scriptures use. You have to be like a lotus. A lotus is in the water, but not touched by the water. But I don't think in Regent's Park and all those places in London, what the nearest park is, I'm not sure. Anyway, I don't think you've got many lotuses, but you'll have ducks in London. I've seen So when we have to be, like in the office, we have to do our material duties. But how to keep all of this stuff from really disturbing your mind, and that is going to be the prominent thing that makes your mentality, is to constantly chant the holy name of the Lord. And this you can do mentally, obviously, but there are no hard and fast rules about chanting. You can do mentally, you can do with your lips moving, you can sing it, you can dance, you can do also. There is no hard and fast. You can be clean, you can be dirty. You can be in a dirty place, you can be in a clean place. Everywhere. Mahaprabhu, actually in Chaitanya Bhagavat, Mahaprabhu gives us some instruction directly. He says, actually, the only thing you need to do is chant the names of the Lord constantly. It's not so much where you are or what you're doing, but it is the consciousness which you do it in. And this constant chanting of the holy name of the Lord is the way that you will be in constant association with the Lord through his holy name. So this is the way to put oil on your feathers when you go to work. You need to keep oil on the feathers too. So you keep chanting.
Be like a duck.
Hare Krishna. And Praneshwari Devi Dasi, not exactly in London, but she's in London more or less. Because she's always with the devotees everywhere. We can ask her some tips because she's a very practical lady. She's mother, she's grandmother, she does responsible things in the world. And we can ask her how to be a lotus.
Hare Krishna. How to be a lotus? We cannot be the perfect lotus just like our well-wishers, but in the sense of being there in the water and getting the nourishment of the sun through our Gurudev. Our Gurudev will help us survive as a lotus. I wanted to comment. I missed the first part because I arrived late, but I'm very thankful of the theme today because I've been thinking about it since last Wednesday when Paramananda Prabhu in our BBBC spoke about self-realization. He woke us up to the idea that we have to seriously and constantly analyze what is that we are thinking of, what is that we are remembering of. And in this excerpt that you read, our march towards the infinite is a personal journey, and indeed a very long one. It doesn't end in a few years, and it might have started lifetimes ago. But right now is enhanced by the association of the wonderful devotees I see here and all those that are around the world, and the Vaishnavas who come as our guardians. So this is a perfect moment to be focused on our spiritual practice, following the clear directives of becoming humble, tolerant, and respectful to others. As by doing this, we are following the path shown by our beloved Srila Gurudev. So we can indeed feel like we are the lotus protected by our Sri Gurudev, so that the sun doesn't burn us, because our Gurudev is refreshing and cooling water. Hare Krishna.
And this is also a reply with substance. In fact, replying with the substance of the embodiment of Chaitanya Saraswati Mat logo. that the sun is Lord, the Lord is like the sun. But when the disciple, who is like the lotus, is within the water being nourished by the spiritual master, then everything is accommodated and everything is achieved very beautifully. So with substance, and we always have to think. This is also why sadhana, the songs we sing, many of them, they are very like reflective inside of why I don't have this mood that's been shown. And so we always really have to try to sing the songs with the meaning. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur, Gurudev and Guru Maharaj, they all have wonderful compositions. And they are giving us our mood of daily self-checking, looking to see, and what am I doing? Am I doing right or am I doing wrong? But by our sadhana, by our regular practice, then we have hope. We have hope that we can recognize what we're doing and we can correct anything that we see that is wrong. And it is a long, and actually not only it is a long journey, it's an eternal journey, because in our home, when we get free from the material side, then we're in the positive side, and that positive side, it is not finite, it is infinite. And this whole idea is repeatedly also given to us by our wonderful masters. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj.
Yes, I don't have my window open. Who is speaking? Somebody is speaking. Ananda Sarupini. Huh? Who is speaking?
Oh, Hare Krishna. Yes, Ananda Sarupini.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, can you hear me okay?
And actually, on my screen, your picture froze, so I didn't see any lips moving. Now I see lips moving also. Yes, we can hear.
Thank you. No, that's everyone. I was listening to a talk earlier, and Guru Maharaj, and he was talking about. There was a question about how to be a good disciple, and that something came up which I didn't understand. What does it mean to exploit the name and fame of Guru? I was saying that this isn't the way to go, but I didn't quite understand what Guru Maharaj was saying. I don't know if you've heard that before. Exploit the name and fame of Guru, that's obviously not a good way to be. So could you expand on that a bit, please?
Well, if the question is to me, I can say to give the answer for this, I would probably need the whole context. And we can give an answer, but whether it is the context that Guru Maharaj has used this expression, that I don't know. But we can see that devotees came to Guru Maharaj. We can see that devotees came to Gurudev, essentially to promote their own position. And I mean, directly, Gurudev has told, Guru Maharaj has told, and like mentioned, they have come only for their own purpose. And so their own purpose, so that they have, showing that they have some credibility or something, but they're not doing it in service to Guru Maharaj, to chant, or to Gurudev, not to chant their glories, to broadcast their glories, but it is for the ulterior motive of self-establishment. And I mean, we know these circumstances. We've been there with Gurudev and Guru Maharaj. So that is one context which I can say to you, okay, this may well be what Guru Maharaj was talking about, that, we will connect with a certain Guru, we'll connect with Guru, and then for my own business, I will, for my own like promotion or collection or whatever it may be, then I'm using their name, whatever. But we must be fully our Guru's property. And if they give us instruction to preach or to do anything else, then we will do that as their servitor and not for any other purpose. And Guru Maharaj told in the time of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, said there was one preacher devotee and one of the grand preachers of Srila Saraswati Thakur's mission. But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, towards the end of Srila Saraswati Thakur's life, his manifest pastimes, he said to him, he said, you could not see me. You were continuing your own program, sending me some money from time to time, but you were collecting, sending me some money from time to time, but you could not see me because you were doing your own program. So this context may also be there, which is a similar context. But if you like to send like the audio and say what time inside that audio, and then I'll be happy to listen and we can give some comment later on.
Okay, Maharaj. Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And many things do need a context for us to give, the answer for that context. Jai. And Vijay Krishna Prabhu, any contribution from your bhavan, your house, your home?
Well, thank you, Maharaj. It's always blissful to listen to you. I don't know, Maharaj, what to say. Yeah. Because before, like, when I first came into Krishna consciousness, it's good to always listen that, let's do service, let's go back to Godhead this lifetime. And then after coming to Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat, I'm convinced that, even if I need like lifetimes of service, that's glorious, I think, let's get the opportunity. There is no need to go back to Godhead this lifetime, because the only wish is to serve the Vaishnavas. I think that's the real beauty of this mission, with the service. In fact, in the business world, that she was saying, Bindia, in that question, like, because I'm associated, I'm working in a corporate environment, and I see more and more these things are coming, like in the leadership model of servant leadership, how to do the servant leadership model, a lot around mindfulness, yoga, those things are coming. They are being directed towards more humble, more, in the service attitude, becoming more tolerant. So big corporate environments, they do these things, and we need that. But the real picture we really see, it's in the spiritual world, amongst the devotees, between the disciples. So serving each other, this loving service, and like singing the glories of the Lord, prasadam, the food. So it's so beautiful. That's really the beauty. I travel a lot to different temples, and now maybe because lockdown, otherwise it's so really blissful. I'm planning Maharaj, because I was just saying to my wife Leelamai that next, I think 3 days back, like next time when Madhusudan Maharaj goes to Mukti Nath, maybe I can travel with him. I'm more or less ready, Maharaj. Just need to, when you go next time, probably in 1 or 2 years, I'm ready. At least I can go.
Well, we have no idea if there will be a next time, but there is some unfinished business that we would like to do, because anyway, there is some unfinished business. In the Himalayas. Some devotees have collected Shalagram Shilas. Those do need to go back to their home, to their source. So let us see what will be in the future. But now I'm basically, really, I'm not going anywhere. We're invited to different places, but saying now, yes, I'm happy to come, but I'll come on your television screen, have the gathering. And really, I know now we're a Zoom in different places, but We do programs where literally it's just us in the temple room with the devotees. And it is very alive. It is very, participating. When we have a program going and the bhajans are going on, reading, it's beautiful. So let's see. Muktinath, we can't do quite like that because Muktinath
Spice also
has the physical walking side to it, no doubt.
No, India will be also good. Like during the time of Rath Yatra, maybe Devashish Prabhu was saying like a few days back, on the rooftop you can sit and have darshan. Yeah.
Prabhu, let's see what will be the future. In the meantime, not only in the meantime, even when we're there, we have to understand the spiritual nature of Jagannath Puri, spiritual nature of Vrindavan, spiritual nature of Navadip. And you have those spiritual embassies right there in London, where the worship of the deity is going on, where the connection and the worship of the deity is connected with Guru, where it is not a whimsical thing, but it is all connected in service. And this is the great wealth of having the ashrams and temples around the world. So there also, we've got the spiritual embassies, the spiritual wealth, and we must keep our vision clean. Again, this sadhana, cleaning our vision to appreciate this. And just before we end today, I must also just say on this theme that Guru Maharaj, he'd given this example as you're mentioning about walking, like going to the highest peak in the Himalayas or to go to the North Pole. He gives different examples. It takes a lot of courage. But at the beginning, when we start, there is much enthusiasm. At the end, when we're almost there, there's much enthusiasm. But the middle part, which is the longest part, then we need especially the good company of those who are on the journey with us in order to keep up our vitality and strength, etc. They will be very helpful. So appreciating you all coming together on this journey. And I see a chat in the chat box. We've got another question. Not time today, Rasamoyi Pandita Devi.
Already happened, Maharaj. It
already happened. All right. So appreciating the presence of you all, the association of you all, and let us all give our big jais to Jai Srila Bhakti Rock Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj, founder and charger of Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat Ki Jai. And Jai on Vishnu Srila Gurudev Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj, who in his own words describes Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat as a memorial of Srila Guru Maharaj. Jai Srila Govinda Maharaj Ki Jai. And Jai on Vishnu Srila Prabhupada, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who has given us all this opportunity to not only have appreciation to hear the glories of, but also to read the wonderful scriptures, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, and so many books, and who's brought us to our present generation, to our Guru section, to our Guru Varga. So Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, and Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, without whom the world would still be in a chaotic place, not knowing what is the right path, what's the wrong path. He says this, who says, what's the conclusion? Srila Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. And Jai Shri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai, Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai, Shriman Mahaprabhu Ki Jai, Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, all the present day Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Acharya Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, and all the assembled, or as Gurudev would say, all the assembled devotees Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari.
Jai Bhakti Ranjan Maharaj Ki Jai.
Happy having you all present in the kitchen, in the office room, all places and all around the world. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj.